Hi, thanks for joining us today. My name is Murph Krajewski. I'm the Senior VP of Marketing at Sharpen Technologies. We are the agent-first contact center platform, omni-channel communications, really good reporting, all that great stuff. What I really am excited to talk to you about today is some of the results we've been getting with one of our favorite customers, Blackhawk Network, and I am joined today by Pedro Reyes. Pedro, how you doing?
Doing good, Murph. Thank you.
Yep. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your role at Blackhawk, what Blackhawk does, all the kind of good context?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm the senior director of customer care operations for Blackhawk Network, and my responsibilities are from orchestrating the overall customer service support strategy across the enterprise and all of our product lines, with both insourced and outsourced operations. My organization ranges anywhere from 900 to 1,200 employees throughout the year. And here at Blackhawk, our business model, to really equate it to something that everybody knows, is gift cards. We like to see ourselves as the company that holds the glue between our distribution partners and our content partners.
Every time we're walking through a grocery store, like if I'm going through with my wife and we see the gift card stand, I'm like, I know the guys that are running that.
Yeah, pick one up. Pick one up.
So one of the things that Sharpen is super focused on is providing ROI to our customers, and we do that in a number of different metrics, typically that are important to the specific client organizations themselves. One of the metrics we've been tracking with you guys is what's traditionally called average handle time. And I mean, as of the recording of this conversation, it was just a few days ago that we uncovered some really great numbers that I wanted to talk about. So let me put those up on screen. And these are kind of a condensed version of a much nerdier spreadsheet that we talked about earlier this week. But kind of talk me through, what are we looking at on these numbers?
Oh, absolutely. We're looking at a couple of things. So starting from the locations to where we're currently operating from. So as you can see, it's a pretty wide range here in the Americas, ranging from El Paso, El Salvador, Miramichi, and Reno. And these are our agents that are supporting both a mixture of B2B and B2C customers. The answer rate, which is always important, we always like to keep our abandonment rate to a bare minimum. But then we're looking at the metric for all of us, which is average handling time, which we'll get into a little bit about here, to where how we've rebranded as a product of some of the efficiencies that we've gained. But what you're looking at is as a pretty impressive gain of a reduction of an 8% in average handling time. So where initially, when we started with the COVID plans and transitioning to work from home, as we all learned and share the pains of kind of getting through that, we went really well, but we were actually aiming at anywhere between 2 and 2.5%. You would have had my attention at 1%.
Right.
So this is really kind of showcasing a nice organic trajectory over the last couple of months, which is huge. And I think the best part of the story is that it was organic, and there was just a couple of things that we did. Of course, when Sharpen introduced tiles, the awareness metric, which is a hidden metric, but awareness is key, right? I've always told our teams that we're never going to be able to help somebody as good as they're able to help themselves. And kind of piggybacking on that philosophy, we wanted to kind of look at, how do we rebrand this from an agent standpoint, following our collaborative philosophies of it's the agent first. That's our customer. And when the agents took the spin on efficiency and seeing how the data was pretty much served up to them, it really made a world of a difference. But by focusing on lowering customer effort, we think we made that dent with relatively low effort in the traditional sense, like from a team lead, RTA, workforce reporting. I mean, serving that up to an agent actually took a few layovers. So just having it kind of there directly made a huge world of a difference. And like you said, this is a metric that's been shocking to us as well.
Yeah. So first of all, congratulations. And that's awesome. And as I look up into the aggregate stats here, El Salvador Center at like almost 11.5% gain. I mean, that's fantastic.
And if I were to draw out a pie chart, San Salvador has the highest concentration in our entire ecosystem. About 48% of our staff is located in San Salvador. So it's a huge, huge dent.
Yeah. So one more piece of context for everyone watching. So the measurements that we're looking at here are a running kind of ROI snapshot based on the point in time where you turned on a new feature that we rolled out called tiles. What tiles are is basically just it's a built-in function of our core platform where you surface three selectable metrics. You pick the ones that are most important to your business. You put those metrics in front of the agents, and the agents can see their performance against those, as well as their, like, if you want, the ranking among their peers in that group. So the gains that we're seeing here are measured 20 days before versus 20 days after turning on tiles, and we're seeing that 8% gain. So this is not, though, I don't believe this is a push button technology thing. So let's get into like how you've really done this, because it's a really great story. So one of the things that you had told me is that you like to focus on agent controllable aspects of the work. Talk me through a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there were, to kind of paint the story as much as possible for the viewers, there was a huge focus on things that were basically forgetting about the customer and then focusing on a system, or to go here, trying to almost beat the clock, which is not something we're going to do, right? The agent has things that are within their control, and typically the first one is listen, and listen closely. Then you can focus on your system, and then make changes to the things that would potentially have impacted things that we traditionally saw. Let's say, for example, from a real-time management perspective, the workforce management arm in our world that looks at the traffic control. For example, ACW for us, the thresholds were probably something that we monitored a little too harshly, which was driving the agent to carry over from a previous call. Kind of decouple that as much as possible and say, focus on the conversation, focus on the aspects of the system that you can do, and then on seeking that specific resolution. Those are the things that we kind of discern to say, okay, you really have to focus on the customer. And I know that sounds like a very, very blanket statement, but if I were to write a prescription pad off of what we would tell any agent that has this type of data available to them, to where they don't have to rely on a third party to come and inform them, they could have a more meaningful one-on-one, is focus on the first minute of the conversation. The customer is going to give you 50% of what you have to do. The other 50% is up to you.
I love that. That's a great philosophy. It's just doing good, clean work. Right? It doesn't depend what system you're buying. It doesn't matter how many add-ons you bought for it. It's just like good, clean, solid work.
Yeah, of course.
So then you guys even showed a lot of that performance boost when COVID hit and everybody had to go home. First of all, you guys just basically went home. It took you, like a day to make that transition? Yeah. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
But then the other day you were telling me too that like when you're remote, like the data is all you have to work on. So maybe tell me a little bit more about how you guys are managing and still improving in a remote setting.
Thanks for the reminder, because that's so key. So in the environment when we just picked up and just went home, it's almost impossible to realize how much is in the orbits of people supporting our agents. So a new experience for all of us, but when you're in an isolated environment, like we all are now, we're by ourselves, caved in, you have to really, really depend on the data that you're getting in a quick and easy fashion to where you stay engaged. But basically seeing how the agents stood in their ranking, how their metrics were, how somehow brought us together. Because now you have the interest of, okay, where am I standing? Where am I at? How am I looking to compare to yesterday? So you've gamified a lot of pieces with data, which typically doesn't sit very well with the audience that's coming in and taking calls. They want to help people, we'll talk data later. That's
Right.
that's the interesting part. Yeah.
Yeah, I always liken it to like when I'm driving down a street and I see one of those radar stations that's set up and tells me how fast I'm going.
Yeah.
I may not be speeding, but knowing that someone else cares makes me think differently about it, right? So it's just like seeing it in a different place.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Then it goes a little further, because if I drive past that thing 10 times and I'm speeding and nothing happens, then I start figuring, well, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So what's important is that your management teams and your team leads are actually doing things with the data that the agents are seeing in front of them, right? So you've brought it completely full circle at this point, and it's like this, like a virtuous cycle.
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit more about your agents' reactions to seeing that in front of them, and like just now knowing what stats matter to them.
Day one, you get questions, right? And, hey, where is this coming from? This is cool. Why are you measuring this? And all those questions really matter, because it's just a way of your audience saying, okay, what's here? And then the ones that are happy, that kind of, help, that kind of appreciate that independence and knowing that they have a company that's investing in their well-being. It's no secret that agents oftentimes see better UIs for a customer, which is, of course, the customer always deserves the best experience. But why am I working with something to where I have to put myself on fire to keep the customer and the company warm? You added warmth through serving information and really showing that they matter for their own improvement. So nothing but appreciation is really what we've seen.
Okay, so you guys had a good Q1, good Q2, good Q3 is on deck. Like, what is Q4 looking like for you guys? Do you have any big plans, any strategies you can share with the others that are watching?
Yeah, so we're all going to be hiring in Q4. Of course, this peak remains its peak, and there's pieces that kind of become unknown, right? So holiday readiness for us started very, very soon, because this will be the first year that we hire with no one in office. Once you have that confidence in what your baseline is, and you have the confidence in what typically your new hires bring into the table in those learning curves, at least during this time, we've made the decision to start hiring early, which I know is a little bit risky, but we know that there has to be more investment in the way that our team members learn, especially remote. So we intend to be more hands-on than we were from a training standpoint, to really eliminate the use of PowerPoint as much as possible and try to make it as hands-on and interactive, being led by the trainer. Now, with all the time back that my team leads and everybody else has gained by not having to serve up a lot of the information, we've really focused on making Kaizens on how the structure works from a reporting team perspective and how the data is served up to the teams that are kind of steering our agents towards that goal. So we have some very firm goals to really hit to make sure that our customers don't experience any erosion. That's been a North Star for us. COVID or not, we really want to be there for our customers. And we know that starts by being there for our agents, of course, with a very sharp and data-driven approach. But it's going to be busy.
Which is awesome. I mean, that's what you're looking for. So, like every time we talk, I get excited about how similarly our companies think. And it's fun to like watch those results bubble up and see like what good things are coming from it. That's awesome. Thank you again for your time.
No, it is, and always thank you for your partnership. We really feel that we found the gem out of looking in many other areas, and it's awesome to have a partner that listens. So thanks for amazing support.
So if you're watching this and you're heading into the holiday season and you happen to be in a store and you see one of those big racks of gift cards, pick one up, and when you call the 800 number, you're using Sharpen to talk to Blackhawk. Right? So it all comes full circle.
Exactly. Thank you.
Right on. All right. Thank you very much.